Hey everyone, back again with another video to help you out. This time taking the driver's side electric door motor out of this 2021 Honda Odyssey. And this really applies to all Honda Odysseys from about 2010 all the way through, that even probably before that, to have electric rear doors. These things go bad all the time and they can be expensive just to buy. I can't imagine what the shop cost is to replace one of these, but in order to get one of these out and replace it yourself, it's actually pretty straightforward. Just you want to take your time at it. But the only tools I used were a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a 10mm and a 12mm ratchet wrench. And there's a certain order this works best in. And I'll show you how to go about it right now. So obviously you're going to need to remove the left rear, and actually this applies the same with the right side as well. You'll have to remove the quarter trim panel from the rear of the vehicle. In order to do that, you'll first need to remove the sill plate off of the lower rear end of the van, and they're held in with these little bolt deals. I just hooked on one of these with a flathead screwdriver and just whacked the back of it and just kind of broke it loose, and then just ran them out with my fingers. There's one here, there's another one on the other side, and you can pull that panel up out. It's only held in with clips that snap in here. If you break any of these clips, they can be replaced. You can go to the parts store and they have these clips on a peg in the help section. So anyway, to remove that panel, and then I've already got the driver's side removed, but I went ahead and got everything loose off the passenger side. I'm in the junkyard, so I pulled the right side for a customer who bought it. And so next thing you need to do after you move that sill plate down here, you'll have two more of these bolt deals down here, one here and then one up here. And then up in the front of the van, you'll have this little corner piece here. You'll have to pop this cover off, and there's a Phillips head screw in behind that. And then you'll need to come down on the lower portion. You'll need to pop up the sill plate that covers over the end of the panel here in the rear, because this is hooked underneath of it. Anyway, you can then get a hold of the top of this with a panel removal tool or a flathead screwdriver, broad one, and pop this loose. Be mindful of your power outlet plug, which is on the back side of this. Again, I'm in the junkyard, so I just cut it. But your power outlet plug sits directly behind there, and you won't have a whole lot of slack to get this pulled out of there. So you have to remove this. And then the power outlet plug on the driver's side is located back here, so you'll have to remove the plug if you're removing it from the driver's or the passenger side, because the plug sits back here and not up in the front. Anyway, then you can get in behind this and pop all these fasteners loose. All these little clips run all the way along the edge of it, all the way to the back, and down along the bottom. And then you can get a hold of this thing and move it out of the way. Obviously I've got the seats folded all the way down in order to make this happen. I've got the front seats, the center row seats removed, and just set in there in a different direction in order to make this easier to show. And then when you get in here, you have your this is the module that controls the electric door motor, but generally it's these motors that go bad, or the cables or whatever. So in order to remove this, you'll have two plugs in behind here that plug into the motor themselves. I think I've already unplugged these for the sake of time. I don't know where the plug went. In any case, they plug in here on the side of it. Okay, where'd they go? Oh, they're actually down here on the back side on the bottom. Anyway, you'll have 2 plugs back there to remove in order to get that pulled out of there. But you'll have a 10mm here, another one here, and another one down here. Remove those 3, and then you'll need to come over in behind this little gray trim piece up here, which is also held in with clips. One here and one back here. Pop this loose just so you can get access, and you'll have one side of the cable release here. This is the keeper that holds the cable in place when you open and close the door. You'll have a 10mm up there and 10mm there. These are nuts, by the way. These aren't bolts. So these sit on pegs, little studs here. So you'll have to slide those off and then slide this off of there when you get those loose. And then up front, you'll have 3 10mm nuts here, one here, and then one up there. You'll have these little plastic keepers that hold the cable in place and keeps it from getting caught on stuff. And that creates all the slack you need, because then the next step is kind of the pain. When you come over to the side, you'll have to open the door, slide it back, and it might be a good idea to mark alignments on these beforehand, just to make sure you don't mess anything up. Because what I end up doing is coming in here with my 12mm ratchet wrench and loosening up these 2 12mm bolts, and I've actually pulled this all the way off. You may need to stick something underneath the side of the door to keep it in one place, but then the cables that came from the other side come around underneath here, and you'll have to basically pull the center hinge, center piece here off, and it just hooks up underneath here like so. You can pull those off, and then there's 2 little studs that the end of the cables plug onto that you can use your flathead screwdriver to remove. Oh shit, I was going to say you on the other side, but I've already got that off. In any case, that's the removal procedure, but doing it from this side first is easiest, because then you give yourself slack in order to get those cables loose from the other side. If you did that part first, you'd have a heck of a time getting those cables off the end of the studs on that center hinge. But that's the procedure for removing it. Obviously, to do it in reverse, you want to set this in here, and it's got little hooks that hook over these slots to hold it in place while you get your cables in place, like so. And then while you run your cables through and get them set back up in that center piece. But if this helped you out, make sure you drop a like down below. If you have any questions, leave those down below too. And thanks for watching.